Okay, we're recording.
Okay, I would like to call the meeting, the Affordable Housing Subcommittee Financing Committee meeting on Thursday, April 4th at 7 p.m. And I would like to do a roll call. Maria Weingarten is here, Jeff Williams,
Here.
Chris Wilson,
Here.
Bill Perrette. He's not online.
No.
Okay. And that's who we have for our subcommittee. So now I'll go on to a discussion about leadership. I know my task was to set up a meeting and I have since made phone calls.
Your position is clear.
You have to turn on your mic.
Your position is clear on it.
Yes. And so I had wanted to see if Chris was interested in potentially chairing this subcommittee, and
As others are not, I will.
terrific. Glad to hear it. So I will now pass the baton on to you.
Don't we have to have a motion and a vote?
Well, the way I've been thinking about this. This is technically not an organized subcommittee,
Got it.
so
Okay.
just.
So I will assume the leadership role that. Yes, Bob.
Other committee, I do the school line, the utilities committee, and their subcommittee has minutes. My suggestion is plan to take minutes tonight
Mhm.
and clarify the talker.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't want to get cut short. The good news is being recorded.
Okay. So assuming there's no objection, I'm happy to take over the leadership role from Maria, her interim role, and assume leadership of this subcommittee going forward. I will take on the agenda from here. So the next topic after leadership is discussion of the subcommittee's objectives. Broadly speaking, I see two primary objectives, and I'll throw them out and then get some comments, and other people can add if they see others. So two primary objectives will be to assess the revenues. Currently, the segregated fund for affordable housing receives a levy from work permits drawn in town. So we should consider what the appropriate levels of funding are, what other sources may be available, other levies, a budget contribution, other forms of contributions like charitable contributions from people in town, and how we organize that. And then the second focus, as I see it, is financing sources for the actual projects outside of the affordable housing fund that's been established. So that would include low-income housing tax credits, bank lending, and other sources. Are there any other topics that we should be focused on?
Well, I think related to the revenue, I think you mentioned it, but the idea of maybe starting a fund and
A
fund.
trust, yeah. So other towns seem to have their, rather than it being a segregated account in the town's books, it's an actual trust fund where you can make charitable contributions to it, and those contributions are encouraged. And that gives them more flexibility in how they deploy the Affordable Housing Trust. So I know that Darien and Greenwich both have that sort of structure. I think that would be a good idea to look at the role of an Affordable Housing Trust. Any other topics?
I think it's worth maybe considering under the financing part is whether there are opportunities to look at vouchers or ways that we may
Attract more Section 8 tenants into projects. Yeah.
or even from the state to get granting of some project vouchers or things like that. I think it would be worthwhile to see if there's opportunity there.
So the voucher, where would the vouchers go in our rubric? Is that a separate topic, or is that a part of revenues or financing?
It could be a separate because I know some communities do use them as part of the financing for projects, but it could potentially not be part of our financing, but just make it easier for us to allow lower levels of income to our projects that we create potentially.
Any other suggestions, Jeff? Okay, so we will park that for now. And I'll do a draft of the minutes, which will lay this out. The next topic is subcommittee methodology, speakers, and necessary resources. So obviously at the committee level, we had a little bit of an educational program at the start to level set and get us all understanding how financing for these sort of projects work. Any suggestions on guest speakers who we might want to bring in that regard?
I would suggest Art Cassavant would be a
Yeah,
great.
art's a great idea. Certainly top of the list.
Chris, we're lining him up.
Okay, great. So we'll figure out after the meeting on the 15th of the Affordable Housing Committee whether we want to have him reappear in front of the subcommittee to take a deeper dive into aspects. I think Scott Hobbs and forgetting the guy's name from Heritage Housing, David McCarthy, might be good just to talk about what we've done on the actual projects that have been built. I know the financing for Canaan Parish was slightly different than the financing for the Mill Road projects. So we should understand that. Does anybody know of a banker who focuses on affordable housing?
I think
No.
that's Art.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it probably is Art. So if there are any other suggestions.
You may be interested in list. Low income. Sort of. What it stands for. It's a major organization out of New York City. They had an office. This.
Okay, I will circle with you and we'll.
And then the affordable housing fund of Lower Fairfield County, it used to be Jones. They're out located in Stanford. It'd be very.
Okay. I also thought perhaps inviting a member of one of our neighboring affordable housing trusts could be useful. There's a guy on the Darien committee who grew up in New Canaan and could be useful. I've been trying to get in touch with him, but I don't have his current email. His kids went to St. Luke, so he's certainly familiar with the town. Yes.
One chain. They're located out of Middletown, Wallingford area. It was the merger of 3 organizations. Community Loan Fund of Greater New Haven. It was fund out of Waterbury. It was third.
So chain as in like
Yeah,
chain
I'm
link?
trying to find it for you.
Okay.
Because everybody did names.
Any other methodology, speaker, or resource suggestions? Yes. John Goodwin.
Did Maria, I can't remember whether you did or did not, did you attend the Zoom they did with the.
No, I wish I had.
So you guys
Known
brought
about
up
it, yeah.
Greenwich already, but I
Mhm.
think that, Chris, that'd be a really good affordable housing subcommittee. Chris. It's really, they're primarily financial. Project work. Probably the easiest way to get the right person.
Okay. That'd be great. Thank you, Jeff. Next steps and future meeting date. Presumably we want to
Can I just go back once again?
oh, yeah.
It's Bill Finger and Bob Barilak from Greenwich,
Oh, great.
Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Oh, so they're not,
It's Bill Finger and Barilak, Barolak.
sorry, is this the same suggestion as John had?
Yeah.
Are there two different things?
No, it's the same.
No, okay.
Same.
So I thought it was a subcommittee of their finance committee or BET, but
Who are they? Who are they connected?
So they are part of the Greenwich Affordable Housing Trust Fund. They run
Great.
that.
Okay, Chris, one other thought, going back to the objective. Covered as enterprise, project side, goes in the direction. Shorter term. Objective is project again. Second project. Probably we're talking about building farm. Opportunity.
yeah,
An area, a couple of, you know. That's probably what you were thinking.
maybe an area for us to study, and this is maybe, later in the year, would be assessing the economics of build versus buy. Just at a very high level, build, in a new build, you have costs up front, but you also have lower or 25-year operating costs potentially on those projects. Whereas buy, you might have lower upfront costs, but you might have, more maintenance that's required over the next 20 or 25 years. But it'd be worth us doing a little bit of modeling to figure out
Mhm.
how that looks as a guide for the project committee.
And one person we can talk to about that is Francis Pickering, because
Yeah.
he is doing a study on,
Yeah, is that part of the study that he's?
Mhm. yeah.
I think, I think buying has its attractions. I think we just need to be realistic about long-term costs rather than just focusing on the short.
And I think also the consideration of being able to, we've been focused on rentals because I think they offer more higher hue points, but I think also the consideration that you can have some affordable housing that's for purchase. In which case then you can have a long-term asset that's 99 years, let's say deed restricted, and you have someone who has ownership, which is a different thing than just a rental. So that there's also.
Francis talked a little bit about that in his presentation. Understand that when you put the 99-year deed, sell it, it stays with.
Yeah.
I thought so, but I just.
It would be like an easement
Yeah.
where it just can't be removed by
Goes with the
subsequent.
land, yeah. And then there was one other name that Krista gave me in an email, which was from the Ridgefields Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and that's Deborah Cheney. I'll text that to you.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't aware that Ridgefield had one too, but that's another good comp.
So, yep.
Well, I'm also just FYI. Talked a day or two about. Canaan Lynch. Long time.
Thanks.
Plan. And he, we know him very well because he worked on the 2004. He was the. I hired when I. There in planning. It's also done. Work for other towns. This will be, good for all of us, the entire committee. Fairfield. So next couple of days.
So your expectation will be that you'll get him in front of the full Affordable Housing Committee?
Yeah, I think so, Chris.
Okay.
He's a very, I obviously, since I heard him multiple times, I have a very high opinion of. And what we did was we said, let's get it out to everybody. He's the type of guy where he's happy to talk to our committee, but he wants to sort of understand, but how exactly what. So we have full education. So, yes.
How do you,
One way of saying yes.
how do you spell his last name?
CHALEEO. And probably over the weekend I'll be getting.
So I presume there will be a report from the subcommittee at the next
Both subcommittees.
affordable, yes,
Yeah, I'm gonna ask both subcommittees.
great. So next, if we're done with our methodology speakers and necessary resources piece, moving on to next steps and future meeting date. I presume the project committee is trying to meet once a period in between the affordable housing?
Yeah,
Okay.
in fact, their next meeting will be.
Okay, so I think that's a good goal for us. Any preferences as to time of the month, day of the week?
I think evening works, but
Evening definitely works.
usually not Tuesdays only because of finance. But that's once a month now, so it'll be easier.
Um,
One thing you could do.
Yeah.
okay. So the issue with that will be, just makes the reporting out a little bit more complicated. Organizing it rather than, I guess we can just, it'll be fresh, but. So, sorry, you're not saying the same night as oh, got it.
I just said since
Just
Yeah.
so always have it on a Monday,
it's always
I guess.
Yes.
Monday, so that we.
So we could try and do first Monday of the month?
Hmm.
That makes sense.
First Monday of the month or last.
So I already have a meeting on the last Monday of the
First
month.
Monday of
So we're talking May 6th.
Yeah. We could do the last Monday of the month, but it would have to be 6 PM, not 7. And we'd be time limited. So let's try and do first Monday of the month.
Okay.
If we need to move it around, we can. Any public comment? It was item 6 on the agenda, just for future reference.
I'm your typical ad control.
Yes. I'm gonna get my gavel. You, sir, in the blue. Put it down. All right. Unless there's anything else, motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.